It's hard sometimes because you do get scarred. You get scarred working in law enforcement, and you just see so much trauma and tragedy, and you can't help everybody. So you have to want to help yourself at one point. Hello.
Good morning.
Thank you. Oh, it's cold in here. I was trying to think of things like last night that people don't know about me. I'm like, oh my God. I'm just like
An open book.
such an open book. There really isn't things that people don't know about me. You know, I just don't have a problem telling. If you ask, normally I'll just be open about it.
I can't go that way. I step here. But now in order to create more space, I'll step back. Pause here and think, okay, I can hit from there, but for now, all the way around behind. There you go, that's good. Other person, go.
She works at a different compound.
Oh, okay.
PDF now.
Oh, are you? Are you on midnights?
Yeah.
She's on midnights. I'm on days. What floor are you on?
Third floor.
Ooh.
What floor are you?
4
Okay.
days. Like usually when you're new, you're gonna go to midnight, and when you're a female, you're gonna go to the female floor.
Which is exactly what happened.
Jail is not meant to be happy. You know, it's a punishment for what you did. You know, and don't get me wrong, I believe there's tons of people who are in there who shouldn't be there. You know, I believe there's laws that should, you know, not even exist sometimes. So I'll do whatever I can within my scope of practice and within my oath and my morals and my ethics that I can do to help you. If it compromises my morals and my ethics and how I feel emotionally, then I'm not going to do it. You're dropping this hand. When you throw your hook, bring your hand back to cover your head, okay? Bring it back. There you go. I enjoy teaching. I enjoy helping people. It makes my heart feel good when people come up to me and they're like, oh, I have a question, or can you help me with this training? And, you know, I like that. I like the aspect of helping people. I think I'm a natural protector, a natural leader, a natural helper. I like that, so that's why I want to like to be out of the academy full time. Wide. Oh!
You're worried about me. It's okay. It's okay.
Bop, bop. She's back out. Use your feet, Alexis. Back out. That's it. All right, guys. Add the cross on the end. So make them miss, make them pay.
Make them miss, make them pay. So I was working at the Mayo Clinic. I was going to go to nursing school, and I don't know. Like, I was just one day, I was like, you know what? I do not want to do this for the rest of my life. Like, I don't want to be a nurse. And, like, the only reason I wanted to go to nursing school is because my dad was like, you're a female, you should be a nurse. Like, you're supposed to be at home taking care of the kids and all basically, you know, whatever females are supposed to do. And then one day I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I want to work in law enforcement. I've always wanted to do military or law enforcement. So I just went and applied, and they accepted me at the academy, and then I started working in corrections. So yeah, nothing fancy. That was it. And then I've been there for 6 years. My mom's brother worked in law enforcement. He always used to roughhouse with me, like, growing up. We always went down there. Every weekend I was at my uncle's house, and he always used to roughhouse with us. And I think it kind of just, like, I don't know other than describe it, like that. Like, gave me this, like, complex, like, I could do this. Like, I could be a professional wrestler. Like, I could be a professional fighter. you know, everything like that. But my dad always kind of like crushed the dream that I could do something masculine, you know. And this was in like, you know, what, the early 90s. So it wasn't like it is now where like, you know, women can do and be whatever they want to be. So I think I always wanted to do it. I just never had the guts to do it until somebody at work was like, just do it. I was like, oh, okay. So I just did it.
Crew, that's more than 5! Yeah, that was like,
Time does not exist.
this is like 12 seconds now.
Stop. It hurts.
It's a tough field to work in. You cannot have a weak spirit or a weak mind to work in corrections.
That's it, Alexis. You're at 6 hours.
Hey, crew. What's a dinosaur's favorite reindeer?
Ooh.
Comet.
You just get, you know, emotionally and mentally beat up a lot sometimes, and if you don't have a strong mind and strong heart, you know, you take that stuff home. You take it home, or you take it out on your partner, or, you know, your close family or whatever. So that's why you have to have an outlet. Like, you have to have an outlet, a healthy outlet, to get yourself out of those demons that have been created by your work, you know. And that's what Muay Thai is for me.
Another 2 seconds.
Hi, Hannah. Hi. Hannah.
Over here.
Lines on the seat.
Yes.
Oh, hey, come on, get in here. Hey, I missed you. Oh yeah, I missed the baby. Like, dogs never have a bad day. Like, they're just, he's always happy. Like, he's always happy. And even when, like, I went through a really bad stage of like depression, and honestly Rambo was like the only thing that got me out of the house, was because he had to go for a walk, you know. So that was the only time I ever left the house, was taking him for a walk. But, you know, it's just nice having him, because he doesn't judge you for what you say, what you do, and how you act and things like that. He's just there to give me like a smile and cuddle with me, and, you know, basically tell me, you know, it's okay, Mom, like, we're here, we're gonna get through it. So yeah, there's been times that Rambo has eaten before me when I was living negative paycheck to paycheck. He's my bud. It'll be a sad day when he goes, for sure. You're Rambo, you're famous. My mom's side of the family is from the Tampa area. So growing up, we went down there a lot and hung out down there. So, and then when it was time to go to college, my boyfriend moved up here to go to UNF, and I was like, well, we're in love. Like, it's we're gonna be married. He's my high school sweetheart. And then I moved up here, and we ended up breaking up like a year later or whatever. And I just felt like I was regressing if I went back to Orlando. So I just stayed here, and I've never left. All my previous experience has been hospital settings. Yeah, so I went from like taking care of, you know, patients in a hospital setting to taking care of inmates.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's a completely different setting for sure, but I mean, the taking care aspect is still there, because you still take care of them. You know, you're there to make sure they're okay, you know, to make sure they're not getting out on the streets, or, you know, if they have a emergency, you respond, and you get to learn them and know their habits and what makes them upset, what doesn't make them upset. You know, they try you, they manipulate you, you know, take out their anger on you with whatever they have going on in their home life, because it's not like your home life stops when you go to prison or jail or anything like that. Like, you know, you still have bills to pay, you still have family issues, you're still raising kids, you're just doing it through a phone or behind a glass wall. And, you know, it's frustrating for them sometimes. So sometimes you're an emotional punching bag not even sometimes, I would say like 85% of the time, you're an emotional punching bag for them. Like there's been a few times where like I have like listened to inmates or read things about them, and I'm just like, damn, this person had a really messed up life. Like no wonder they did what they did. But you know, you also have cases where the families gave them everything they needed, you know, gave them great homes and great lives, and went to the best schools and drove the best cars, and they got hanging out with the wrong crowd and, you know, got addicted to something, and it just took over their lives. I mean, I've seen it both ways. I think another thing that people in society don't realize is that 9 out of 10 people that we have inside the jail has mental health issues. It's a huge problem, mental health issues, and it's taboo, and people don't want to talk about it, but it does need to be talked about, because jail is not a facility for mental health, you know, and it's something that needs to be brought up. I'm a firm believer in that. I try to radiate positivity if I can into somebody's life, and you know, they'll ask you things about, like, because they know everything. I mean, they have nothing better to do than sit and watch you for 12 hours when you're at work, you know what I mean? And so like if the inmates are cussing, I'm like, no, you're not gonna talk like that. Don't cuss in front of me, especially when it comes to juveniles. That's not how people talk to each other in the real world. Or like when you want to get back into, you know, civilization, you can't talk like that. You cannot talk like that to people, because people automatically just shut off and think that you're rude, you know, or you're uneducated because of the way you're talking. They'll ask you to, you know, proofread a letter for a judge, you know, and I've done that before. You know, you can have positive interaction, but you also need to be careful, because not everybody in that jail is your friend. You have to be careful, because a lot of these people who are in here are master manipulators. So they might be trying to find out something about you to hurt you, because you're the enemy in their eyes. Like, you're the one who's keeping them behind the walls. You're the one who's keeping them away from their family. You're the one who's keeping them away from talking to their children. It's like, no, you did this. Like, you're the one who busted out the window in the cell door. That's why you're locked down. I didn't do this to you. You did this to you. Like, how many times do you have to get arrested? How many times do I have to tell you to stop doing this in order for you to understand? You know, stop being a victim to your circumstances and own it and try and make some change. And I wish that instead of mass incarceration, we could redo the system to get help where it's needed. So, for instance, we live in a time where we're not raising our children. I don't have children, but people aren't raising their children. Other people are raising your children. Your school teachers are raising your children. Your aftercare workers, your PAL is raising your children. Boys and Girls Clubs is raising your children. So why not allocate more money to those places where our children are being raised, so they can maybe have some of the coping mechanisms, or maybe understand that it's okay to talk to a therapist, or it's okay to go on medication. Guess what? My brain just doesn't produce enough serotonin. Okay? And you know what? I have anxiety. I've been through some traumas. Like, I'm afraid. It is what it is. I need to be on some medication to help me to get where I need to be. So, give more people education instead of just sending them to jail for, you know, X amount of years thinking they're going to learn something. We say basic things. They don't know. You know, they don't know how to clean a toilet. Like, I've literally had to teach somebody how to clean a toilet because they have never been taught how to clean a toilet, and they never lived in a house with a parent who cared enough to have a clean toilet. So it's things like that I'm teaching these guys too. Like, hey man, you're not going to live in filth here. You're going to sweep your cell, you're going to mop your cell, you're going to wipe everything down, you're going to throw all that trash away. You're not going to have unopened food in here because, you know, it just creates bugs and all this other kind of stuff. So, you know, home life skills, I think counseling needs to be a lot more. I think it needs to stop being taboo. I mean, why is it so taboo? We go see a doctor when we're sick, when you have a sore throat, when you have an open wound, you go see a doctor. If you're not feeling well here, why is it so taboo to not go see a counselor? Oh no, don't go to a counselor. Don't talk about your feelings. Like, don't talk about the childhood trauma that happened to you. You know, it's just, these people just rage on the inside, and they're holding on to all that. They never got it out, never had the right resources that You know, some of them do end up committing crimes. And I do think that there's people who just snap. You know, they weren't taught any different. They were raised different. And I think it's something that people need to realize. You have to have compassion. But sometimes it's hard to have compassion in law enforcement because of all the effed up things that we see and we hear every day. So it's a constant battle in your head of, I feel really bad for you, and I'm sorry that you didn't have what I had growing up, and I wish I could give you something. But at the same time, you've been here 30 times for the same exact charge. What's missing here? Like, what's missing? You know, you're not accepting responsibility for your actions. So it's a nasty cycle that you get in, and it has to do with the people that you hang out with. And law enforcement is not subject to not having addictions and consequences and things like that, because they do. We do. We have issues. Like, point blank period. We have issues. We go through a lot of traumatic stuff, and you know, you realize that at some point, and you take the steps to make yourself better. This is written from a juvenile. Like, usually if the juveniles are bad, I make them write me an apology letter so they understand more why not to do it again. So he titled it Respect. He says, I apologize for disrespecting you and Officer Beep. I did not mean to offend you by cussing and give both of you an attitude. Next time I'll try harder to control my temper. Respect is a valuable thing to have because it can bring you a long way in life and can also make life much easier. Also, I need to respect the COs in the facility because they just trying to do their job. So, it made me feel good. He came up with that. I don't know. Yeah, yep, I make them write me letters if they're disrespectful or do something that is not acceptable. I make them write a letter as to why they did it, why do they think they did it, what actions it's going to have, and, you know, why aren't you going to do it again? Instead of just saying, you know, whatever, like putting you locked down or whatever, like it has a little bit more of like a, what word am I looking for? Like, realization, I guess, when you're writing it down, like you're like, oh, this is real, like I have to write this down, I have to give this to somebody, like, you know what I mean? It makes you think, and then when they see me, they're gonna be like, oh, well, don't do that because Miss Smith's gonna make you write a letter. Like, don't disrespect her because Miss Smith's gonna make you write a letter. You know, or wear your uniform properly because Miss Smith's gonna make you write a letter as to why you have to dress properly. So yeah, I don't normally do that with the adults because the adults are like, I ain't doing that shit, but the juveniles, they'll do it because, you know, they're kids. They want to have that. Kids want that. Kids want to be loved, and they want to know that somebody cares. And I think when I do this, it lets them know that I do care. I do care why you're in here, and I don't want you to be in here. You know, nobody really wants you to be in there. So, yeah. Maybe it'll help somebody, maybe it won't. I don't know. So, this is a note from an inmate. It says, let me cover that. Yeah, it says, I think A.B. Smith needs to become a sergeant. She's very respectful and caring. So I kept that because that was really nice. These are all like my friends that are like closest to me, I would say, that I talk to the most. That's my uncle, who always used to wrestle with me and, you know, beat me up and everything like that. Cards that my friends have written me that I keep up, they're positive, and, you know, whenever I'm feeling down or sad about whatever, I read them. That was my mom when she was a teenager. So, yeah. Yep. Yeah, I want my clothes to fit better, so I need to stop eating sugar. I write myself little notes to keep myself occupied. Some feathers, like when I'm walking Rambo and stuff, I pick up different things to collect. A heart rock. Me and my mom and my stepdad, we always like try to find rocks that look like hearts, and then we collect them and share them. All the different things that like my mom has sent me or whatever. She drew this picture of Rambo. Yeah. And I love this one. I like the colors in this one. Yeah. She's crazy. I love her. Oh, this was from 2014. This was a patient at the Mayo. He gave this to me. He said, he heals the broken-hearted and binds up their wounds. Psalms 147:3. I just like to keep little things like this because you never know. You know, it's just memories to go through. That's me and my little brother. God, he looks great. It's us again. It's my mom on her graduation days. Oh, it's me and my mom, I don't know, on a motorcycle. I was so happy when my little brother was born. That's my uncle. The one, he's got the little police thing, the one who I went to into corrections. My mom and my uncle. Ooh, fashion. I feel like I still look like that sometimes when I go out. Oh, man, yeah. Look at that crop top. Oh, gosh. Yes. Level 1. Level 1 Thai boxer. That's me. And that was during coronavirus, and that was a wild time. What a year to be alive. And then, oh, this is I can run a breath test if somebody ever gets pulled over for drinking and driving. I personally don't fight. Like, I would love to, sure. Like, if I knew that I was getting sponsored by, like, you know, Fairtex, you know, like, yeah, I would. Like, if you're about to pay for all my bills and everything, yeah, sure, okay, you know. But I pay for all my own bills, so that's why I don't fight, because of that. Like, I love the aspect of it. Like, I'll spar with you and hold pads or whatever, but I'm not gonna apply for a fight or whatever. It's just, I'm too old. I'm brittle. My career is really important to me, and that's number one. So I put all my time and my dedication into my career. So, you know, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do something wholeheartedly. So if I was training to fight, then like all my time and energy would have to be on that. Like I couldn't do 50-50. Muay Thai is not about fighting for me. It's more of like a community, definitely a community that brings everybody from so many different walks of life together. Age, race, sex, upbringing. It's really nice to come into a gym where everybody's friendly to you, where everybody says, hey, how are you? And you can be at level 0 working with somebody who's had like 4 or 5 fights underneath their belt, and they don't treat you like you don't know what you're doing. Like when I was getting ready for level 1, an instructor just stayed late with us one night and did rounds with us, and it wasn't even like, it wasn't a big deal. They were just like, yeah, no worries, like I'll stay with you. And they just treat you like your family, you know. So that's what I like about going to Muay Thai the most, is the community.
Oh.
Yeah. All right, good work, guys. Spray with the defense spray.